What is happening, everybody? This is Let's Be Real Brad, and today I'm be doing my next movie in the 31 days of Halloween movies, and we're going to be doing the 1973 classic, one of the best horror films of all time, The Exorcist. The Exorcist was directed by William Friedkin, and it is adapted from the 1971 novel that was written by William Peter Blatty. I gotta say, seeing this movie for a second time, it just makes me think, how come I haven't seen this movie more than 2 times? This movie is tremendous. It is so fantastic, and I'm so glad that this is one of the highest grossing movies of all time. And the fact that a horror movie was able to achieve this is absolutely groundbreaking, and I don't think any other horror movie is gonna get this close ever to the success of The Exorcist. As some of you may know, The Exorcist has been considered one of the scariest, frightening, and disturbing movies of all time. People back in the day were so terrified of this movie that they would literally have paramedics outside some of these movie theaters waiting for people just in case something were happening. People were vomiting in the bathrooms, people were having seizures, people were just not handling this movie, as some people were actually truly affected by this movie, having a lot of mental illnesses that were treated by professional psychiatrists and doctors after the viewing of this film. The movie was huge. Everyone wanted to see this movie. People were standing out in the freezing cold in massive lines just to see this movie. They wanted to know what was the hype, what was so great about this movie. This movie has been nominated for 10 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, and it won for Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Sound. This movie had so many problems trying to get this movie into place that they actually had to double the budget because parts of the production actually burned down, and some of the actors and actresses were actually injured while doing this film, and that was really due to really bad safety measures this film had, and also the director really wanted to get genuine and terrifying scares out of these actors and actresses throughout the film. And so that's why you do see a lot of very genuine frights and scares. So the acting is phenomenal in this movie. The biggest standouts to me is Linda Blair, Max von Sydow, Ellen Burst, and Jason Miller. As Linda Blair, Ellen Burstyn, and Jason Miller all were given nominations for the performances in this film. Linda Blair actually had a lot going on her shoulders in this movie. Being a 16-year-old girl trying to play a 12-year-old, having so many really pivotal scenes. A lot of this movie requires her to work being this demon-possessed child, and with just incredible makeup, she really needs to sell all these scenes, and she is absolutely terrific in this movie. I'm so glad she did get the nomination for this role. I also want to give a massive shout out to the voice of Pazuzu. It was later added as a credit because this actress didn't initially want credit and then wanted credit afterwards. She's never given it, and that is Mercedes Cambridge. Her voice is honestly tremendous. It just goes to show how much talent, how much insanity she had to put in this voice role, and she is terrific in this movie, and I need to shout her out for that. The writing is fantastic in this movie. It feels like I'm reading a novel. Like the lines are so well put. There's nothing silly or dumb about this movie. Every piece of dialogue feels realistic. All the conversations are always fascinating, and every part of the story flows so perfectly. There never feels like a scene that I can just completely cut out. Production design is tremendous. It was nominated for a production design nomination, and everything about this movie looks so real. They shot on location in many of these scenes, and there's so many great, really behind the scenes stories of how in the climax of the movie, they actually shot that inside a freezer. I don't know how they did that, because if you actually look at the actors while they're acting, you can actually see their breath that comes out, and they're literally freezing on set. I had no idea how they did that, and that was actually going to be one of the things I was going to research. So bravo for making that climax so fantastic. Music is phenomenal in this movie. The theme is so iconic at this point. Everyone always talks about the theme, and just having the little piano playing, a doo 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 is was a really bad impression, but you get the point. Music was actually done by Jack Nitzsche. It is truly phenomenal. It's definitely one of my favorite scores in a horror film, and it's just perfectly placed throughout this film. It gives you so many chills and just the creepiness going into this movie. The sound mixing, the sound design is fantastic, and it really is so fantastic because you really need all those sound effects to come alive, and it really does make the movie so much more scary, especially when they're dealing with the exorcism scenes that have the wall shaking or the bed frame shaking or things being smashed. It really does add so much to this movie, and it's so well done. It's so well spliced and cut together. This movie would not be as good without this amazing sound mixing and sound design. Cinematography is absolutely excellent as well, as it was nominated for an award. It is this creepy, cold, and really dark movie that really looks so fantastic to this day. And if they ever made a 4K, it would look just so much better. Directing is phenomenal. William Friedkin got a nomination for this movie for his directing, and it is absolutely tremendous. The scares in this movie are so well captured. The emotional scenes are so well captured. There's so many iconic scenes and moments that have just stuck in my head throughout this movie, and I gotta give William Friedkin so much credit. Now, the biggest thing I'm gonna talk about this movie is the scares. This movie is disturbing, it's scary, and it just really gets under my skin. There's actually this white-faced demon that actually shows up throughout this movie just randomly, along with the great music and great editing of this movie. It is absolutely terrifying. I don't know too much about it, but I guess it was cut out of the original teaser trailer because audiences thought it was too scary, and then they added it back in. There's so many crazy and disturbing scenes, like the crucifix scene or the exorcism scene, or just the head turning around, with amazing makeup that was done by Dick Smith that is really so good. I think this movie is absolutely still terrifying and still disturbing, especially the later re-added scene of Regan walking down the stairs on all fours. Absolutely terrifying to watch at 1 a.m. in the morning. They actually got Max von Sydow, who's 44 at the time, have so much incredible makeup to make him look like he was 74 to be Father Karras. I had absolutely no idea. That is some of the best makeup I've ever seen done. It looks so real. Dick Smith, you are just a legend. Really love the story in this movie that really so many movies have tried to copy, with a girl or a child being possessed, and the family that wants to deal with it tries to help the girl, bringing all these priests in and using these exorcisms. We've seen it before, but this is the movie that originated with really great writing and really great characters, as we have the main priest that's played by Jason Miller. Really is such a great character of his divide between being a priest and not wanting to be a priest, and kind of going against his moral values of who he's supposed to be, and taking care of his mother and the effects of that. I thought he was such a great character. I love Ellen Burstyn's character of not accepting this, being a major actress, and seeing that all these terrific things are happening, and then the denial that we have because of she is an atheist and doesn't believe in these demonic possessions, and tries to just think of something that it isn't. And I think there's so many really great concepts and thought about Christianity and about hell and Satan, the devil, and I think it really works so perfectly in this movie, and without shoving it in your face that seems like a lot of movies try to do now, and it ends up feeling a little too silly. Overall, this is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. This is clearly one of the best horror movies of all time. It's so beyond influential. It is so important to the genre, to film history in general, and it goes to show that you can make a tremendous horror movie with the right people, having a great vision for the film, and I still think it holds up all these years later. This movie is a certified 10 out of 10. Let me know, have you guys seen The Exorcist? Do you guys still think it's scary? And to the people who haven't watched it since, are you guys still terrified of The Exorcist? Let me know all those comments down below. And as always, please like and share the video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It means the world to me. You guys are liking my videos. Subscribe to my channel. You guys are the best. And as always, I'll see you guys next video.